Hi, everyone. Welcome to 15 Minute Mastery. I'm Mary Andrew, and I'm your life coach, relationship coach, nutritionist, how to do life with more wisdom and more health and more joy and more energy. So we've been doing this 15-minute mastery series for the last few weeks. And last week, we talked about ways that we can become more embodied, ways that we can become more aware of just our lived experience. And that is something that a lot of people struggle with because in this day and age, people have found it to be short-term useful to sort of disassociate from our bodies and just live in our heads all the time. And while that does have some short-term benefits, the long-term costs of that are very real and very painful. So we did talk last week about, I think it was, I think I shared 10 ways, yeah, to improve your intuition, 10 ways to improve your awareness of your own body. And so I'm going to share another tool that is very helpful in improving your intuition and not just your intuition about like moment to moment things, but just increasing your awareness of what's going on inside you and what's going on in your life and how you really think and how you really feel. So a lot of times when people are going through things that are unfamiliar territory, and are very painful because something that they value is being threatened or is actually being taken away from them. It's very confusing time, and it's a very, you know, well, it mostly is just confusing is the best word for it. It's very confusing and painful. And a lot of times when those things happen, we are confused because we have a lot of stories in our head about what we should think about what's going on in our life and how we should act, how we should respond. Um, and there's also actually how we do think and how we actually do feel and how we do want to respond. And there's so much conflict between those two things that it's really hard to sort out what do we really want. And so a tool for investigating that and getting clear on our authentic self and what our authentic thoughts and feelings are without all the noise of our culture and our religion and our family and all the things that we think we should think and feel and do. A really good tool for sorting that all out is journaling. So I started journaling a few years ago, and I'm trying to remember why I started journaling. I think I was in my nutrition education as a health coach, and that's one of the foundational practices that they recommend that you have your clients do, and that is journaling. And Julia Cameron wrote a really good book on the importance of journaling as it pertains to creativity. And it's a fabulous book. I do recommend it. And that was sort of incorporated in the education that I was getting as a health coach. And so I started journaling, and I was really glad that I started journaling because I was headed into one of the most difficult times in my life when my marriage was falling apart. And I was really, really glad that I was journaling because it was such an amazing tool for me to sort out what I thought and what I felt and try to get clear on what was happening and figure out when I was lying to myself and when I was telling myself the truth. And that's what's so interesting is, you know, you can lie to yourself in your journal. You can say the things, you can write the things that you think you're supposed to think. And you can write the things that you think people would admire you for thinking or saying. And you can write the things that you think people would pat you on the back for. But when you read it written out, coming back to you, there's something that happens where you're like, you can tell if you're lying to yourself or not. You can tell if it resonates. You can tell if it's BS. And it takes an enormous amount of courage to really face that when you read your own words and go, this isn't authentic. It sounds really nice, but this isn't really what I think. This isn't what I really feel. And realizing that has been really transformative for me in figuring out my true path and my true thoughts and feelings and the decisions that I wanted to make in my life. So I do recommend journaling. Journaling is a great tool for gaining insight, gaining clarity about what's going on in your life and about what you want, and in contrast to what you think you should want. And that's really, a big part of life is figuring out what our own preferences are according to who we are, and balancing that and measuring that against what our culture and our family and our religion thinks that we should have preferences for. And learning how to just own what our preferences are and make no apologies. So yeah, journaling is a great tool for learning all that stuff about what you actually like, what you actually don't like, and what you actually want in your life and what you think you should want and what you don't want. So I hope that this has helped anyone watching. Peter wasn't able to make it today because he's got family in town, but I do appreciate anybody that watches the replays. If you're interested in getting some clarity about any kind of situation in your life and some kind of clear path forward, feel free to schedule a discovery call with me at my website, marianne.drew.com. That's MERIANNE Drew.com. And that's my gift to you on the consultation, to just get some clarity about what's going on. I really, really enjoyed and benefited from people, when I was going through a tough time, that had the kind of insight that I provide on those consults to help me get clear when my brain was confusing me. So that's my gift to you. And if anybody that you think would benefit, please send them my way. I would love to give them the gift of clarity on a consultation. And please join us for further 15-minute masteries. That's every Monday at lunchtime, Mountain Time, 12:45. It's only 15 minutes to get some nuggets of wisdom, to stop your day and sort of reassess where you're going, where you are, and where you've been, and just see if you're on the track that you want to be on, and see if there's things that you've missed. See if there's things that but you forgot. And it's a really good reminder sometimes to get on these calls and go, oh yeah, I've heard that before and I forgot about it, and it's really useful. So I hope this has been useful to you, and we'll see you next week.